Hey everyone, welcome to the Fan Club YouTube channel. I'm Will.
I'm Lawson.
And I'm Austin.
Join us every Monday for interviews with top athletes, creators, and entertainers from all around the world.
So please make sure to like, comment, subscribe.
And thank you for joining our fan club community. Now please enjoy this episode.
You guys ever throw up an Instagram post that you think is an absolute banger and it's just kind of like not? Everyone else doesn't think so?
I've had a few boat anchors of posts.
For me, no, because I usually don't think that it's going to be a banger.
I guess I don't really know what a banger means, but I was so pumped to post my film photos.
Yeah. And why were you
'Cause
disappointed?
I like funny comments, and there's like 9 comments, and 4 of them are like, post them on Fort Lauderdale,
Yeah.
this, that. Like, I got a bunch of robots.
Well, I think that lately people are more dead on Instagram lately. Like, they're not commenting a lot of things. Like,
Yeah.
they're not active.
That's fair.
So that's what you meant by you were expecting to get flooded with such a cool film photo, man.
They were great, though.
I had
I'll
some
give it to you.
compliments this Wednesday morning, but oh well.
I'm sure it still got a lot of likes, though.
Yeah, these.
A couple of reshares.
Reposts.
Mine did.
I don't know. How do you see that?
Should be in your notifications. You can check and then
Oh, these things.
yeah, up there.
Yeah,
See,
3.
there you go.
3.
That's
Hey,
good.
That's something to write home
Thanks,
to.
thanks,
Some
team.
pick me up on a Wednesday morning.
How we doing today?
Good.
Thank you, everyone, for
Yeah.
tuning
Yellie's-
back in to the Fan Club Pod. Sorry, I just cut you off there. But, yeah, we're here on Wednesday, and we have a sweet interview, hopefully a banger of an interview, with the two of our favorite content creators who we've been seeing lately, the Pointer Brothers. I think they're going to be really funny to chat with. But before that, yeah, what are we doing? What are we up to today?
Oh, it's
Well, I guess you're
just
not
sitting
up
in
to
a
anything.
sitting in a new spot today. Here, taking over Frizz's role. Can I put my arm around you here?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
do
know
that
what
to him sometimes. It's comfortable.
I like that.
It's comfortable.
This spot is way better than my other seat over there.
It's amazing.
It's way more comfortable
More
here.
comfy.
Mhm.
That's why I never want this spot to be given up. I love it.
Yeah,
I
I
just hang out.
the back. I actually slide off the chair in that one. I'm not sure if you're feeling that right now, Yelly.
I feel like I'm slouched down pretty far.
Yeah.
Like I know what you mean.
It's kind of
But
harder
you're-
to speak
You're
too.
probably like 3 inches higher than us.
Actually, well, I definitely got some air behind my back. Like, it's definitely not a good
Mhm.
supporting chair.
Here you just sink in and you don't move.
Yeah.
I feel good here. I'm excited. I think you guys are going to be seeing and hearing a lot more of me today with my improved posture.
He's feeling good
gosh.
right now.
The evolution of Lawson McDonald.
He's feeling good. Yelly, where is Frizz?
Frizz, Frizz is back in South Florida. Maybe in the air right now, not currently in South Florida, but he's on his way down to Fort Lauderdale, and he'll be the first one arriving, and then me, Will, and Cuddy will be joining him later this evening.
Yeah.
But he took the early flight for some reason.
He took the early flight. I know we wanted to kind of roast him for doing that because we're sitting here at the office getting work done, and he's heading to the beach a whole 12 hours earlier than all of us.
Full
Yeah,
day.
I guess he had a decent reason. What, it was cheaper or something, I guess.
Yeah,
I
must
don't
be
know.
the first time he's ever thought of the budget before. But
Yeah.
he's down there, or he's about to be down there, and he's going to be soaking up those rays while we're sitting here on a cloudy, humid Minnesota day.
Yeah. Quite the difference in climates.
That's kind of wild, though, that you guys are just going back there. Like, I'm not going with them. I'm going to a bachelor party, so these guys are going without me. But we were just there a week ago
Yeah.
or 2 weeks ago.
It's 2 weeks to the date we were at the Panthers game.
Jeez.
Yeah.
No, sorry, 2 weeks yet. Yeah, Wednesday today. 2
Mhm.
weeks to the date today.
Yeah, we've been talking. Like, yesterday was Tuesday, but it felt like a Friday. Like, all these weeks and days have been so jumbled with
Mm-hmm.
the traveling and stuff we've done. So, I don't know. We're heading back down, which is obviously really cool to see Games 3 and Games 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
There is nothing better than the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
Even if your team's not in it, I think it's just a whole new production and a level that seeing it in person for the first time last year in Tampa was incredible, especially those two teams going at it. But it's kind of rare that the Cup Finals are in the same state 2 years in a row.
Yeah. Tampa last year.
It's been in
Florida this
it's
year.
been in Florida for 4 years in a row now.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, maybe not the bubble when Tampa won it in the bubble,
Yeah.
but 3 years in a row. 2 Tampa, 1 Florida.
Not bad to be a hockey player out of
Yeah.
Florida.
Florida's going to become the next Minnesota or something. Everyone's going to be playing hockey there now. You're going to see kids just skating instead of surfing, and they're going to take over, I think, as the state of hockey.
Yeah. They'll
Yeah.
turn in their skateboard for a pair of skates.
Yeah.
It's all the true Canadians and Minnesotans that want to get out of the cold and go play hockey somewhere cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to head
Not
down there
bad.
this afternoon.
You guys should touch on like how busy you feel like you're getting now, from trip to cabin to now another trip. And not that you were not super pumped to go, but you guys almost couldn't make it.
We almost didn't go because my main reason was just, with all the travel we have had lately, like I feel so behind in everything. But I think just finding a way to make it work, like staying here today and flying, we don't get to Florida till like 11 p.m. tonight or something, like just making those little sacrifices going and then coming back Friday is just what you have to do if you want to stay on top of things, because otherwise I feel like I could have just snowballed this whole summer and just
Yeah.
kind of screwed myself.
Yeah, I was kind of in the same mindset with Will. Is just like initially I was like had a lot of stuff outside of just like the THE stuff going on that like I felt obligated to attend or go to. So just initially I was like, oh, I can't go. I just got some other stuff I got to go do. But then like as I sat on it, and even my parents told me like this is something that you just like can't pass up on. It's such a cool opportunity. So I know once the decision was made to go, it just kind of like felt more relieving than anything.
The once in a lifetime events that you just have to make happen. And I feel like what you said with the snowball effect, it's been now 3 weeks, and it might get to a month with the marathon coming up, where you do something that you travel and you're gone for a weekend every single weekend for a full month, and it kind of messes up your midweek stuff. But you do get in the habit then of almost realizing you're not getting the things done, or things are just almost at like a stall. Like with our content, it's just about posting and catching up. But when you think of the things that like to move forward or to make progress on, it's hard to make those things happen when you like are so busy with just staying afloat. And I feel like that's like that snowball effect does come in, and you look at your summer now and you're just wondering, wait, I had this project on my mind. Like, when are we actually going to have time to even get it done now?
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like stuff just like piles up, and then your like workflow kind of it just each week it's so different than the week before, so it's hard to just get the train back on the tracks with just like the normal stuff.
We've done a decent job at like learning how to work on the road and things, but definitely I need to be better.
I mean,
too.
even there's stuff that you physically can't do on the road, like a lot of the podcasts and stuff. Like the initial first parts, like it has to be done on one computer that's in the office. So
to break it down, this would be a good breakdown, because I would say for 3-day trip, it would be, if you do a 3-day trip every week, 2 days for sure you're planning with the phone calls, planning with the content, and that kind of burns up like a focused day there. And then when we do the podcast, one of those days we have to record now that we're home. So that's today. And then you get to the other days when you get back, you're spending for sure a day editing, maybe debriefing, and trying to organize all the content that you just took. And that's the week right there, and you're just starting the cycle over again, and that's why you get so clogged up so quickly from just like a quick 3-day thing. Yeah,
it's like the targets of hitting stuff become so much like smaller and obviously bigger for like room for error.
Yeah, it's great because it's just a good cycle of new content, new podcast stuff to talk about. I love that, but again, it's just it gets really slowed down, so it's kind of like a give with the amount of good stories you're going to get from it, and then you got to accept the fact that that's going to take a lot of work to actually get out too.
Yeah.
Well,
keeps you on your toes.
It's good that we're talking about it, and I think we'll continue to improve as this crazy summer kicks off. There's going to be a lot of different things, but let's send it over to our guests, the Pointer Brothers. What's going on, guys?
going?
How we doing?
What's happening, fellas?
How can you hear us? Are we coming in clearly?
Looking good, sounding good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And you
God, you can probably switch the size.
I don't want to look at our mugs.
We got to see them.
Where are you guys
You guys
coming?
hear us?
Where you guys in LA?
We are. We just moved out to LA. What, 2-3 months ago?
Wow.
Damn.
How do you like it out there? Obviously, like I've heard a lot of things. Some people love it. Some people like it's not their thing. Like, have you guys really been enjoying it?
Yeah, I would say I've been loving it. I mean, there's a lot going on. A lot of opportunities, a lot of events. Weather's been pretty nice. So, a lot of our content is spent we spend our time outside shooting. So it's been great, beats the New England weather, winters. So just honestly, I've been loving it. I've been loving it out here in LA for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It looks like you got a sweet little setup there too.
Yeah. Yeah, we put a little office together. We moved into a house, a 4-bedroom house. So we're out here. It's me and Mike, my girlfriend, and then Mike's best friend. And we have our own little office out here in this house. So it's nice to have our own space.
Dang,
for sure.
That's awesome. Well, maybe just for a brief little intro, I tried to pronounce your last name a million times, but I don't think I can. But we're here with the Pointer Brothers, Henry and Mike. Not sure how to say it.
Bedravich.
Bedravich?
Yeah.
Bedravich.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
Pleasure to have you guys on. We're really, really looking forward to this. We've been following you guys for a long time and always are sending each other your guys' videos and stuff.
Thank you for having us on. We're
Yeah,
excited.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
What's up?
Do you guys, so you're from Massachusetts, just moved to LA. How long you guys been in the content game?
So we started making videos August of 2020, or no, before that, right?
Yeah, a little
I
bit.
think a
before
little like in like March or April of 2020 during COVID, just for fun. We made videos for our friends to laugh at when we were just like all like locked down, and then we started taking more serious in August of 2020, and that's when we started making like our first ever video, the handshakes with the homies video. That was like our first thing that really kind of like blew up, and then that's when we started taking it seriously, and then we've been doing it full time for about almost 2 years.
Yeah,
I
year
think
and a half.
year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What was that transition like then? Like from the point where you started to do it full time, was it like hard for you guys, or was it pretty like did
Yeah.
it make a lot of sense, or is it a little risky?
Yeah, so Mike, so we're not twins. I don't know if like everyone always gets us confused.
We were
I was
gonna
gonna
ask that.
say,
We were gonna ask
I'm
that.
actually, yeah. So because it kind of goes into your question. I'm 3 years older than Mike. So while all this was going on, I was actually working a tech sales job at Oracle. I graduated UMass in 2019. So I was working corporate job. I was doing sales. I was doing all this stuff. And then we, all got sent home working remote. And that's kind of how we got stuck at home together. And that's how all the videos came about. But I had been at this job. It was an intro sales role. I've been at the job for about a year and I've been crushing it. And they were like, dude, we got to get you promoted. We got to get you out of here. My manager was like, you can't be on my team anymore. You need to get we need to move you up. And I was like, dude, I don't really want to do tech sales. I want to kind of pursue this. And he was so chill about it. And I was so open about it. And he was honestly a fan. He would watch our stuff and which is kind of funny. But it got to the point where I was like, dude, I'm going to just kind of ride my success on your team as long as I can until I can just
Kind of like finessing it a little bit.
kind of until I can just completely make the transition. And he was so chill about that. And I feel so fortunate that he was so understanding, because I could imagine 9 out of 10 managers at, this enormous corporation wouldn't be so relaxed. I mean, I was getting my job done, getting it done, overachieving. So there's no, it's not like, dude, why are you freeloading on my team? Get out of here kind of thing. But I, got to the point eventually where Mike and I were making enough money and we felt comfortable. Like I felt comfortable quitting my job. So it kind of is an easy transition, because I was spending maybe, 4 hours a day working my job and then like 4, 5, 6 hours a day just creating content with him. So it was honestly a pretty smooth transition. I kind of bittersweet leaving the corporate world, which was interesting. But
That's interesting that you say that. I had basically kind of the opposite experience when I like turned down the job that I was supposed to do after interning, things like that. They're like, just obviously did not understand the content world or anything like that. And I'm like, I'm 25 years old, 24 at the time when it happened. I was like, I'm just going to go for it. Like, there's nothing else. So that's great that your boss was actually a fan, and definitely someone to rely on too, maybe down the road.
Yeah. I guess like what made you not even want to do, you're probably like really stuck with time, but do you think you could have just kept doing both? Or when you quit the job, did you full on just when you got the chance to just go way harder with content pretty much?
Yeah. Yeah, no, dude, that's such a good question, because I honestly, I tried quitting, and he was like, dude, you're not going to get your quarterly bonus if you don't stay for another 2 months. And I was like, all right, I'll stay for another 2 months. Like, dude was begging me to stay, and he was like, come on, man, like, we just stick around a little longer, because I was honestly like carrying a lot of weight. I was doing really well, and that's why he wanted me to stay, and that's why he was so cool with it. But he, like, dude, I don't know. It kind of the main thing that made me say, like, I got to call it here was when we started traveling a lot. Like, we were going and we were doing collabs, and we were going, on like Thursdays, we were, like, I think we collabed with the Minnesota Vikings one weekend. And I was like, dude, we got to catch a flight out at this time and do that. And then we got to be back. And like, the travel kind of got to be a lot. And I could do it remote, but I was just like, dude, I don't want to have to focus on, trying to make phone calls and send emails. I want to just focus on like creating the best content possible. So that was kind of what made me decide, like, hey, we got to call it here.
It got to the point where you were like just like waking up, sending like a couple emails, and then you're like, all right, I'm good for the day. Let's go film content.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, work, let's go.
Yeah. No, I can completely attest to like what you said, because I had a logistics job right out of college, and I was doing this on the side, and there was a traveling component that put it over the edge where I just had to like pack it in and say, I can't do the logistics job. I'm going to follow what I'm more passionate about. And so like I can completely just attest to what you guys are saying. But obviously you guys have great personalities, and you even brought it up that your initial videos, you're creating them to make your friends laugh. So were you guys like molded by like comedy or like comedians? Or like, was that something you guys grew up watching that then you brought to your own platforms?
I would definitely say like comedy exactly is like the main focus. I think growing up in our family, we have an older brother, which some people don't know. He's 1 year older than Henry. The only reason why he's like not in on all this stuff is because when we got sent home from COVID, he already lived outside of the house, so we were just like stuck apart. But him and our older dad and our uncle are all like really funny, and we all spent a lot of time with them. And I think kind of just like being surrounded by them, it was like nothing but jokes. Always like saying the same dumb riddles over and over every time we see each other, just like that sense of humor where like it's coming, and like but yeah, I'd say just being surrounded by it, but specifically comedians or anything like that, I wouldn't say like necessarily inspired by. I love a lot of comedians, but I think just always being goofy, like throughout elementary school, middle school, high school, and just being surrounded by it is kind of what has shaped us. Yeah.
Is your older brother then, is he trying to get in on it a little bit, or is he totally cool with sitting back and watching?
Yeah, I mean, I would say he seems totally cool, just kind of sitting back and watching. I mean, I think it's absolutely a goal of ours to get him involved somehow.
Yeah.
He's still out there on the East Coast, but we honestly would love to get him out here and kind of make something happen. But we got to find the right fit. You know what I mean? And I know he's on board with that too. He's like, I don't want you guys to just make some room for me just cause. I want to find the right way to get involved and really bring some value and try to obviously help grow the Pointer Brothers. But that's a goal. So hopefully down the line,
And he's always shooting us like video ideas. And everything too, like on text, whatever, like just playoff stuff. And a lot of them are unreal at work, which is great. So it's nice.
That's huge. I was going to ask a little bit, because we all went through, as we've talked about, like leaving the corporate world or these things like that. And it seems like you have a pretty supportive family with your brother who's just a bit older than you and is so supportive and all that. And we definitely had those conversations with our parents and things like that. They're like, you're going after this? Like, what are you going to do? Where's your what about benefits and all these, these things that you're missing out on? But now after 2 years of basically doing this every single day, they're just like, I don't think they would have ever believed it 2 years ago, and they're all on board now. So you guys are assuming have the same kind of support.
Yeah. Mike actually, I think Mike had kind of an interesting kind of story with our parents. I mean, he like not in a bad way, but he dropped out of college. I mean, you kind of explain all that and what when.
Yeah, I can dive into it quick. I played. I was college soccer at the small school in New Hampshire called St. A's, and I was a sophomore there, and we got sent home. And when it was time to go back, it was like, hey, school's closed. You guys are going to be staying in your dorms. Soccer season canceled. This, that. I'm like, all right, I'm not going back. You got to pay same amount of money for going back to school. I'm like, I'm not going to enjoy it. They're like, all right, you got to get a full-time job. Worked at a hardware store. That's when me and him started creating content. And then I was like, hey, I think we had like 300K on TikTok at the time. And I was like, dude, I don't want to go back to school. Like, we have something going. We have like, an audience. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I think that one of the easiest things that helped is when I did have the conversation with my parents. I remember walking into their room one night and it was just like an hour-long convo, and they just supported everything. Like, I laid it out, but like told them like, this is how like we're gonna eventually be making money. This is how we're gonna be doing this, how we're gonna be doing that, and all that. And they were like very supportive, which was like took a huge weight off my shoulders. That they were like very supportive because they did see the vision and they did believe in us. And we already had been doing it for a while and seeing some success. So so that's kind of how, like, long story short, how I got into it.
Yeah, that's so
But,
huge. That's so
the
huge
parent aspect was
to
huge.
have support from the
Yeah.
people who obviously it's your family. You want them to be on board with what you're doing. You don't want it to be this weird transition. But I love hearing about the fact that you're working at a hardware store and you're working at Oracle, and like it's those little grinds that people don't see behind the camera just to make it work. And then once you hit that point where you can transition, it makes it all so much worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And-
it's huge.
And what was the
It's
like
helpful.
when you guys?
And it's helpful to have like.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying it's helpful to have like your friends too, because like you could have some friends be like, dude, are you sure about that, or like this or that. But I remember also I was doing odd jobs with my buddy, and I just remember we were picking weeds for this one dude, and I was just like, dude, I'm not going to go back to school. He's the first person I told before him or my parents, and he was like stoked, excited, and I was like, all right, dude, let's go. I was like happy to hear that, and then that's when like I talked to Henry for an hour that night. Same thing. I walked into his room. I'm like, bro, I don't want to go back to school, and he's like, dude, yeah, like I was talking about it with my friends. They're like, what are you guys going to do when Mike goes back to school and you keep working? And I'm just like, yeah, I guess I'm not going back to school. We're going to dive into it. So it's just kind of funny, like having having those friends like be very supportive too, and like seeing the vision as well, which is huge.
Yeah, you kind of have to get that proof of concept first. Like, do your thing, do your job as it grows until you have that opportunity where then you can share it to your parents or share to your friends. You guys have seen it. This is why we're doing it. Kind of like how we got that opportunity to be college hockey players while we made content. And then when we graduated, at least we had done it for a while to see why we could quit. And for you guys, when you're at like 300,000 followers, what opportunities did you have at that point where you could go and tell your parents, or like that you even thought that you could make money? Was it a brand deal that you did? What was it that you saw a future in?
Dude, honestly, I think like one of the things is like we'd get a lot of Instagram DMs from fans or in our audience just being like, hey, like, love your guys' content, like I'm not that close with my brother, but like we send each other your stuff all the time, and it's brought us closer. And like we've gotten like similar worded messages like that like a bunch of times, and like that was enough for me to just be like, wow, dude, like we actually have like a positive influence on people, and people do like recognize us as as like somebody like I guess like look up to, or somebody that's brought people together. I'm like, dude, if we can only just keep the ball rolling and keep growing our audience and spreading positivity and laughter, whatever content we're doing, goofy stuff. That kind of like gave me the motivation to be like, wow, like we have a positive impact. And
That's
really
really
make a difference.
cool.
So
That-
that was
Yeah,
probably
I
one
think-
of the big things.
I think I'm trying to think as far as brand deals went, because I remember there was one time a while ago we had a podcast, and I remember that was kind of a big deal, and that was like exciting for us. I don't remember when that was. I think that might have been. Was that before? That was probably after you. I can't remember, but I remember that was one like specific brand deal that was kind of eye opening, where we were like, holy shit, like this can be something that we really can pursue. Like we've gotten the numbers on Instagram and TikTok, but now actually seeing some money is really kind of eye opening. And it also helps when you can go and you tell your grandma who has no idea what you guys are doing. You're like, well, we actually just signed a deal, and this and that. Like, so that always helps a little bit to kind of reinforce that we're not just totally crazy by quitting our jobs and dropping out of college to do this. So.
Yeah, no, I would say that like the brand deals and stuff along those lines, like obviously that keeps the light on, but it's that fuel of just like that positive feedback that you are like contributing to like helping people out. Like that's really what keeps like the engine going at the end of the day. So I mean, we can completely relate to that, just like the messages that our community that we've built, like very similar. And it's like something that when you see those messages, it's like, okay, like this is really what we're in it for. So
It's a great place to start with too,
Yeah,
knowing that
exactly.
that's your fuel for it is because of the fact that you guys enjoy just like receiving the positive feedback, knowing that you're just making that difference. And I think that's just a good spot for like creators to build from, because that's really what it like the most important thing that you're always going to have as you go up and as you grow.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean that's what it is. It's like the audience, the followers. It's like that's why you have the platform. It's like it's all them. So it's nice to definitely make a difference,
Exactly. So,
positive difference.
do you guys have a fairly big sports background then? Michael, you said you played soccer, and obviously a ton of your videos are related to different sports. Do you guys grow up playing sports? Obviously, I don't know exactly where you're from in Massachusetts, but everyone knows that Massachusetts is definitely a big sports town or state.
Yeah. We're from just north of Massachusetts, but yeah, I'd say we played almost like every sport growing up with, again, like it was perfect because we had our older brother and our dad, so it was 4 people. So whatever we were playing, if we were playing football in the yard, it was always me who was the youngest and my dad against Henry and our older brother Tom, and basketball, flag football, wiffle ball, whatever. But I think the only sports like we didn't play organized was like actual football and then hockey. But other than that, like you did track in high school. We grew up playing baseball, basketball, soccer.
It was.
I did a year of lacrosse, like some random.
You did. Would you play disc for a bit? I played
Ultimate
rugby
frisbee
for a
a bit,
while.
rugby.
It was always something. Like we would always, we weren't playing Fortnite. That wasn't a thing. So we weren't stuck inside. It was just the 3 of us like outside throwing a ball, like whenever we had a moment. So that on top of playing some organized sports and just having two other brothers and a dad to play with was just kind of what got us the athletic abilities and things.
We did play Fortnite, but like down the road a bit.
Yeah, no, I mean we played our fair share of Fortnite, but not
Yeah, right. When we were
not
growing up, we didn't have
But,
that. Like, I'm the oldest of 3 boys as
Yeah.
well, so like my brothers are sat inside and played Fortnite during their younger days. I'm like, what are you guys doing? We were out playing around with all the neighbor kids back in the day, and like every
100%.
single day, that's what you look forward to. Times definitely changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Exactly. And everyone's just super competitive too.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
But
And
the one thing we got to do though.
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say we got to. We're definitely gonna have to skate and play some hockey with you fellas, because I know we're not the best on the skates. And I took skating lessons when I was like 8 years old on a milk crate, but I think they've paid off a little bit. But we'd love to skate it up on the ice and play some hockey.
Well, you guys seem like the guys that can pretty much do anything, and you're just going to get it really quickly. Like, you do so many different sports, and it's not just like you can tell that you're actually an athlete when you do them too. Like, you don't look uncoordinated, you look really coordinated. So I think if we'd play hockey, you guys would be naturals. Plus, there's so many different ideas for your content to fit in with that sport too. I know you've done some things, but I'm sure there's a lot that
Absolutely.
you could come up with on the ice.
Yeah, no, I think we could definitely make some great stuff too, especially with you guys. And I think this once we get past the skating part, then like the creative side, I think that'll be funny.
Yeah.
Getting like a YouTube video or something, like learning how to skate again or something.
That would be.
But yeah, thank you. Appreciate
That would be a blast. I had a question about some of your content. Did it take a little bit to kind of continue to get out of your comfort zones a little bit? I know that, I mean, obviously your guys' stuff is hilarious, but some of the content is like, we send it to each other and just die laughing. And I hope you know where I'm going with this, but like the thong videos of you, the first one I saw when you're playing catch, it's just like, this is incredible. And I don't think I could do that. And I don't know if you were at a point where you thought like you could never do that, and then it just hit this level.
Well, dude, I'm trying to think where it all originated, because we had these like assless chaps that we used, and I think that was in a college acceptance video where our thing that we, with our videos, we've always tried to think of a way to like make someone rewatch it or like, wait, what did I just see? Or like just try to find some little twist. Like, well, I mean, when we were doing our handshake videos, we would do like a fake kiss at the end, and like that was. So this kind of goes back to my boss at this corporate job watching my content, and he's like, dude, you fake kissing your brother? Like, what's going on? Like, no, he wasn't weird about that, but it was just like, you always have something to kind of make you think like, wait, what the heck just happened? And then we did these college acceptance videos where Mike would pretend like he got a letter and then from Harvard, and then he would get denied or would get accepted and jump around, and then next thing you know, there's just a hole in his pants, and people are like, wait, what the hell? So I don't know, dude. To do that, we just kind of did it, right? I mean, it's we
I think you think people appreciate it. I think.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a joke, right? We're having fun. You get a laugh. Like that's the point. Is just we love. The goal is to have one of the guys send it to their boys and be like, dude, no way. Like, look at this. They're like, bro, let's go play some catch or something. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's totally our humor. So,
my favorite is when people like take it too seriously. Like people will see the video and be like, dude, what the hell's that? Or like, dude, that's so sus. Or like, it's like, guys, we're just like, we're just messing around. Like it's TikTok. We're creating content for fun, for a laugh. And like, yeah, if I have to strap up a thong, I'll do it for the boys or whatever. But it's,
I feel like we've shared that burden a bit. It goes from Mike to me sometimes. The thongs I've let Mike do his thing because they definitely perform the best when Mike's wearing it. So I kind of let him take that one. But
like for those videos especially, like we try to make it seem like it's about to be like obviously like a normal video. Like the baseball catch one, it was like a 9-second video, and obviously you don't see the thongs like the last like second and a half or like at the end. So like, I remember somebody commented like, "Wow, first normal video," because it's like there's a nostalgic song in the background, the birds are chirping, the snap of the gloves when you're playing catch, and then he responded to his own comment being like, "Never mind, just watch the full thing." It was like it was pretty.
Yeah, that was like the golf
yeah, I
one
think
too.
like diving in like.
That's like I was watching the golf one. It's the exact same thing. Like you teed off, and then it was like whatever, golf with your bros. I forgot exactly what the text was, but it was the same thing. Didn't catch it until like rewatching it. I was like, what is this? And then I saw. I was like, oh gosh, it's funny.
Yeah,
but
it's so funny seeing like the comments still roll in because we'll still get comments now. It's like, dude, nobody's gonna talk about the thong. Or, like nobody saw that. It's like I think everyone saw it. Yeah. Like I don't know, it's funny. Like listen like.
And
seeing all the comments.
where do the faces come from? And is that just a strategy for kind of a hook, or what's the story behind that?
I think it's now like turned into a hook, but I wish I had pictures, but we've actually been doing like those stupid faces for like a while now. Like ever since like middle school, high school. If I look at like I got my like junior year yearbook photo, and it's literally me of high school. Like I don't know how long ago that was, doing like the face. Like I was literally just like.
I saw that actually.
Like, the
I
lady
saw that.
was like, and the lady was like so mad at me, telling me to do something. I just didn't move and like just snap the flick. Like, so we've been doing that, and I think it's funny if you watch like our handshake videos. Our intros start from just like pointing to the intro, and then we did greetings, like a greeting at the doorstep, and we do handshakes, and we start to do it like really harder pointing, and then it literally just turned into like doing like the squint and like the tongue, like getting into it. And it's like there's a progression. We'll have to make a video, honestly, of a compilation
Where
like the progression,
Yeah.
because you can definitely see it from the handshakes to the greetings to the dance moves to the whatever. But we have been doing those faces, but we've integrated it, and now if people like see us out in public or like say what's up or recognize us, they'll like come up to us and like be doing the faces and pointing like this. And it's kind of like funny. So now it's just like become like part of the brand.
Yeah.
So definitely has like turned into that like a hook where people recognize us, and it's a very like recognizable thing of like doing the faces, like, oh, the guys who do the faces or like those like stuff. So
yeah, no, it definitely is. Yeah. And I guess you got the point now, Pointer Brothers. I know those aren't even connected maybe, but that works out perfectly for you.
Yeah, it's funny how that worked out. Because I mean, we got the name actually from a Tim Robinson sketch. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Tim Robinson, the comedian. I think you should leave on Netflix, all that. But we actually were watching. He had an episode on the characters on Netflix, and we were just watching it one day, and it was a skit about these guys at a corporate event, and their whole gig is like they get up on stage and they just point to everyone in the crowd, and we were just like, dude, this is hilarious. And then the next day we were like,
and they're called the Pointer Brothers.
And they're called the Pointer Brothers, right? And then the next day we were like, oh, let's make a TikTok, and we were like, what are we gonna call it? And then we were like, I don't know, the Pointer Brothers. And then we were like, sweet, let's do it. And then it blew up. So we had really no idea where we were gonna go with the Pointer Brothers or the TikTok channel when we first created it, but that's kind of how the name came to be. And then, like you said, now we're doing the points and all that stuff, and it just kind of like all works out. But yeah, that's like a kind of a little known fact about the name that people are always interested.
Yeah, that's a sweet origin story. Like, I don't think any of us knew that's like how it came to be. But I was curious to hear like what is your guys' personal favorite just like series that you guys have created on TikTok? Because obviously you do a bunch of different like series. So what's like for you guys do you enjoy to make the most?
Dude, I know. The series. To be honest, I kind of like. I don't know if you guys have seen our newer ones. It's like how fast like guys become best friends.
Yeah.
Or it's like at the workplace, at the gym, or in public. And we film them at UCLA a bunch, and those are just like, I don't know. Those are funny to me because they're so like when we write like the kind of like the scripts for them, like just so like outrageous, like and goofy, like how fast dudes become best friends. Like say like starts all with like a head nod walking by each other, then turns into like, yo, you going to economics? And it's like, yeah, dude, like hop on my back, and it's like, love you, bro. And like I don't know, I don't know how it gets to that point. That's like honestly probably one of my favorite series films.
Those are a lot of fun because they're so relatable, and everyone's like, dude, like I've had 8 friendships like that, like it's just like we've all as guys, like you get it, I would say honestly, mine is probably the dance moves and the wedding dance moves, and just because we come up with the most outrageous shit, and then people will be like, "Yo, we just hit the lawnmower at my boy's wedding," and I'm like, "This is like just so crazy to me," and I think it's so cool, but it just goes to show that like other people share the same sense of humor when they'll go and do like the swan where I'm spinning Mike around, like all this stuff, and they'll send us videos and photos, and I'm like, dude, you guys like this is electric, people actually taking these to the dance floor at these weddings, like that to me is just like incredible to see, and just knowing where these moves came from, which is just Mike and I sitting down like, dude, what can we do? And then we're just, let's do this, like coming up with the most random stuff, turns into a dance move, and then people are doing it on the dance floor. Like it's just, that progression to me is just the coolest thing.
I think people we got like the mini ties that we wear in the wedding dancers. I don't know if you've seen those, and we're actually almost done. We're ready to sell those soon. I think people have been asking for them. So those are just like honestly whack. Like the way that started too was like, how can we get like we'll make funny dance moves, but like how can we add another form of like what else can people comment on? They can comment on the whack dance moves, but they'll comment on the tiny ties. So it just adds that many more comments, and then that's how it started. And then people have just like, now that's one of the main things where people like, the joke is like that the ties are like above average, like they're tiny, but like, or they're not tiny, they are above average, but yeah, they do have a good personality.
That's
but
so good.
that's kind of like the joke now too with those.
How do you guys continue with this, your creative sparks and coming up with new things constantly? Like, how many dance moves can you come up with, or the tie thing?
Dude,
like,
I know.
where did that like? How do you keep the creative juices flowing for fresh content?
To be honest, like actually, so other than this week, like the last 2 weeks, we kind of like took not like a hiatus, but we kind of took like a creative break because we were just like thinking of stuff. We're like, it's okay, this and that. But now we're back to like we have a ton of stuff on our whiteboard, like creating, but. I don't know. Like I think it's just like a lot of inspiration off of like just like I don't know. I'm trying to think of not like taking inspiration from our old videos too. So like say we do like a Sellies vid, like a soccer celebrations vid. We're like, all right, how can we like take this part of a celebration and then bring it into like our new series, like the dance move series, keeping that rolling and stuff like that. So we're always finding ways to like tweak stuff.
I think a lot of our content is like trial and error. We'll post something that we think is going to do great, and then it does terribly, and we're like, oh, all right, we'll figure out what we did wrong and come back and try to make a better video. But it's tough, dude. Like you say with the dance moves, we've tried to put out another one like recently, and we're just like, what can we do, man? Like it's we've done so many parts and so many moves that it's like we don't want things to seem like we're kind of doing the same, like
exactly.
We want everything to feel fresh, so it's like trying to find ways to keep things fresh, and like Mike said, looking at our old content, dance moves work, let's maybe take a break from those for a little while, get into some celebrations, kind of find different series that we've done in the past to try to revive, and I don't know, it's tough.
I think like wait, what were you just saying before about the trial and error? Sorry. I think like Henry said, a big thing with trial and error, because a lot of them we've tried, and if it does well, like we'll just keep sticking with that, and that will turn into a new series. And like that's done well for us. We did one where we did the like it was like a pretend series, like yo, pretend to do this, and you do something, and then I would do something way in the past, like back in the like yo, pretend to send a message, and Hank would text on his phone, and I'd like write with feather and ink on a letter and give it to a carrier pigeon, and like, but it is also like a playoff. What we do is like the trends that are going on. We try to find a way to not like shit on these trends, but just to like put our own twist on them and make it different. Like add a little like twist at the end. So like I don't know, it's not like the trend anymore, but people still appreciate it. So that's always like something like we try to like look out for. It's like, all right, the trend's like, all right, dude, how can we put our own spin on this? Exactly like this, the college acceptance videos. I know it comes to like that time of month where you see people posting about it and they're really getting accepted into these Ivy League schools or into their dream school or denied. And we're like, dude, like, this is like good for these people who get accepted, and it's also sad that don't get accepted. But it's like, dude, yeah, let's throw on some assless chaps and like let's make a fake video, like hook people in for a bit, because people will comment being like, "Yo, dude, I couldn't tell like this was serious or not. Like that was a roller coaster of emotions till the end." But always finding ways to hop on trends quickly and putting our own twist on them like right away is like a big thing, and that's also trial and error as well. Like, all right, we can make that. Let's try to make another one and do that until it it starts to decline, and then all right, let's move on to the next one. And next one. So I guess that's also like a part of it.
And during these moments when you're trying to be creative, I can imagine like brothers doing content creation together. Are you guys fighting ever? Are you having disagreements? And how do you do this for so long? Because I can imagine it can be hard sometimes for you.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely beef, like you're saying, like we're brothers. When we're sometimes like when we're doing dance moves and stuff and trying to come up with things, it's just like I'll think something's great. Mike will be like, dude, that sucks. And I'm like, dude, so it's so tough. And I'm like, bro, we've been sitting here for 30 minutes trying to come up with a dance move. And like the best you've got is, like some random, like, so we do it. I mean, it's tough. I think at the end of the day, like it's so much fun to be able to grow a business and like just be where we're at together. And, as brothers, it's just so exciting. So there's a common goal, we're both trying to grow, make money, have fun, and just like enjoy what we're doing. So we try to keep that, from really getting us at each other. But sometimes it's like, hey man, I need an hour to just be by myself. Like I need to just cool down. I don't want to look at you for a minute, like we definitely get there, but at the end of the day, we share the common goal, and it's it's fun to grow. So
I know it would be stuff as little as like we have the same video idea in mind, but just like recording, I'll think it'd be better from this angle, and he's like, no, dude, like right here.
Yeah.
And then it's like we'll be like, dude, come on, and then go back and forth. But yeah, it's nice. Like Henry, like next weekend, I think he'll be out of town for like 5-6 days, so it'll be nice to like have some time to chill by myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I won't say exactly what he said, but he covered it all.
No, I'm sure that helps a lot. Just like that time away and letting you guys just kind of like reset a little bit before coming back to the drawing board with everything. Through this all, like, what's been your favorite opportunity that you've gotten from it?
I'm trying to think.
That's a good question. I think what's cool about our content is like we can do so many different sports, so that just keeps us open to so many different collabs and so many different teams and organizations that we can work with. And I think the first one that kind of pops out in my mind was working with the UFC. Yeah, they brought us into to Phoenix for UFC. Was it 274?
Yeah.
And we actually got to get in the octagon the day of the Charles Oliveira Justin Gaethje fight. So we were in for about, we have 30, I think we had like 30 minutes in the octagon
30 minutes
right before the early prelims to just do whatever we wanted. And like, I felt so out of place. I mean, everyone's running around, like setting up the stadium, and Mike and I are in the UFC octagon with like props.
I've got like an oven mitt on in the, like trying to make celebration.
We got pillows and blankets, and we're like crafting shit up, and everyone's like looking at us like, what the hell's going on over here? Like, it felt so like uncomfortable, but it was such a fun experience to actually be there. Like, dude, we started off doing handshakes in our in the kitchen, and now we're in the octagon creating content like before this pay-per-view fight. Like, it was just that moment, kind of soaking that in was definitely really, really kind of eye-opening to me.
Yeah.
Can imagine seeing, like,
I think
go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go. No, you can go.
No, I was just gonna say, like, fighters walking around and seeing you two in there making like a video like that would be so funny. And even kind of sometimes, like, for us, you're in a hockey rink maybe making a TikTok, and the professional athlete that's actually there is like thinking that you're doing something totally random, that they're like, you just wonder what's going through their head. It's kind of embarrassing because you're not mocking it, but you're obviously doing something that's not normally done in where they actually
100%.
perform, right? So, but I think it's good that they can see that there's still an audience for that, and they're inviting you out there for a reason still, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. I think my favorite one is like, do you guys know, like the Premier Lacrosse League, the PLL? We worked with them last year, and we were just we were the skills competition judges with like, and it was alongside like Teddy Bruschi and Paul Rabel, and that was just like pretty neat. It was on ESPN or ESPN Plus, I don't know, but that was cool. Just like meeting Teddy Bruschi, Paul Rabel, and just like judging a competition, like throwing up random numbers.
Yeah,
and
Mike.
everything. Like
Mike was dishing up nines for everyone. Dudes were missing the net, and Mike was just like blindly throwing up nines.
that wasn't how
like,
it
come
went
on,
down.
man.
That wasn't how it went down.
Come
but
on,
it was similar, but not like that.
I think it's so.
No, that was really
That was
exciting.
like a cool experience too.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think it's so cool how you guys like, you never cross the line with content that might be too far, but you're so brand friendly and can continue to be funny, where like older people who love humor and love these comedians who like, I don't know, I just think you've made the perfect path where you continue to be friendly for everyone. Kids can watch your videos and adults can watch your videos, and then that is huge for opportunities for you too, because brands aren't like taking a risk and you guys are gonna like be bad for the brand or something.
I think we kind of like early on figured out, because I think we did some stuff that was like maybe not so brand friendly, not like in a bad way, but like early on we kind of figured, like Mike said, you know. So I think we kind of figured that out early on. We were like, all right, there is a fine line where like brands either aren't going to want to work with us, or they're going to be like, okay, this is funny, this is cool. So before we got too serious with it, we're like, all right, we can't cross that line, you know. And I think we've done a decent job kind of hanging out there.
And like you said, it's accessible for as like many as age ranges, young and old, and stuff too, like middle. But yeah, and also too, like definitely have to take some time off in between, like the thong videos and stuff, because like people are just commenting on videos, be like, oh, dude, like I thought he was gonna be wearing that thong, or like I thought he was gonna be. I was waiting for this, and we're like, all right, well, we can't be known as the thong bros or anything. So
Attracting,
we definitely got to pick
the
and
wrong
choose.
audience.
The thong bros.
Exactly.
So we're like, we got to pick and choose when to place those videos in right time for something that we think could work. But we're like, all right, we gotta slow down on those a little bit.
You should make that a second account, Thong Brothers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, on OnlyFans, it's just $20 a month, and you get all the Thong Brothers content you want.
Maybe some merch.
We'll redo every single video we've ever made, but
yeah. What if you had some merch down that line?
Yeah,
I know.
Dude, we've dabbled in the merch line a little bit. I'm actually wearing. Are you wearing the hoodie right now? Like, so we've done we've tried it. We've done what, 2 T-shirts now, and like that's it's an interesting game, because I think we're trying to figure out if we want to do something like that is related to the Pointer Brothers or to our content series, or like we did with our last drop, which is the Pointer Brothers Cafe, which is kind of just completely random. I mean, it was a joke that Mike made on the podcast where he's like, dude, we'll drop a shirt that's, you know, like an Eggs Benedict, best dick in town. And so on the back we have like the Eggs Benedict, best dick in town. So kind of just like a joke we made one day. We ran with it. We had a big photo shoot in a cafe set in downtown LA, and everyone was like, wait, do you guys have a cafe? Like, what's going on? So we're trying to navigate that scene where it's like, do we want to kind of bring some more Pointer Brothers comedy series into it? Do you want to do some wedding moves related, like shirt? Like, so it's an interesting game to kind of figure out, you know, what does our audience want?
What do people want?
What do we want to create? And trying to figure out what's gonna work. But
all just trial and error too.
Yeah.
100%. Very, very much the stage we're in right now too with it is like finding out what people really want and what you as creators even want to make yourself that you're proud of doing, and not just because you did maybe a dance that people know would want it, and it's like, do I really care about putting that on a shirt or not, kind of thing. So totally, that's a hard part about doing all of this, is the trial and error with it. Do you have anyone helping you guys? Is it just you? Do you guys have a manager? What's your team like?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're working with an agency where we have like a couple people that are like I guess like our agents, I don't know, that help us. But their job is mostly like securing brand deals, like on the monetization part of things, not like content strategy and like when to post. You guys should post more of this that. But and then we also have we work with like a merch partner through them, which is helpful. So they'll help with designs. They'll take on all printing, all the upfront costs and like this and that. So it is helpful there.
Yeah, it's interesting because like the more we think about the Pointer Brothers, the more it's like, hey, this is a business. It's not just the two of us making videos, which I guess that's the majority of it. But we're like, we got to do taxes, we got to do all this stuff. Like, there's a lot more to kind of just doing this than making videos, which is interesting, and it's tough, and you got to build the right team, and that's why we're grateful to have the agency and to have our merch partners and to have our accountants and CPAs and everyone that's working alongside us to just kind of let us focus on what we want to do and not worry about keeping all of our receipts and all this stuff and all that. It's tough, but it's cool to have the right team in place to help us with all this.
100%. I think having your background too, where you actually were working in a business firsthand for however long that was, like, you understand what actually goes into it. It's not just post a video, get a check right into your bank account, let's go on to the next one. There's so much behind the scenes,
Exactly.
especially in this industry where sometimes you don't see the money for net. However, it can be the cash flow can be a little bit annoying at some points, but it sounds like you've got it dialed in. It's definitely huge. We've been thankful for our agency too. Like, they take care of so much stuff in it, where we can just worry about the stuff that we're good at.
What
exactly?
What now? For you guys is the next step. Do you have any big goals that you're trying to get to? Are you wanting to go more into like comedy show style stuff? Have you ever thought of that, or what do you think will be happening in like 3 years with you guys?
Honestly, right now, still like focus, like main goals is to just keep hammering like TikTok and Instagram as much as possible, growing those up. We've dipped into like the YouTube scene a bit, but I think we definitely want to start a podcast as well. We've done one in the past. And also just growing, like really like trial and error, like nailing like the merch, because like I've seen your guys' stuff, which is awesome. It's like not like just like it comes off as like merchy stuff where you throw like a picture of our faces or on it and like, hey, it says the Pointer Brothers, buy it. Like, kind of get into like the apparel game, like give people, like, figure out what they want and really make that like a big part of our brand, because if I feel like when you really nail down the apparel merch sort of things, it's like a huge, not only like a revenue generator, but just like a big thing for your community and that they love and part of the business. But that's like high level, I guess, like off the top of my head.
I mean, the thought of like, doing a like tour stand up is something that I don't think we've ever really thought about. And it does, like, off the top, at first glance, I don't know if that necessarily fires me up, but like the more I think about it, the more I think it could be interesting, to kind of figure out what that could be. Because a lot of the content creators that I see going on tour are, they're solo, they're one person, you know what I mean? And like, I think that kind of, it puts us at an advantage to have two, but also maybe some sort of a like there's pros and cons to the two of us here, and kind of figuring out how we could create something like that. But I don't know, definitely a thought to a conversation to have between the two of us. But
I think, and then obviously like creating some products too. We have like our mini ties, so hopefully just selling those soon. And we're working on this game we've played growing up as a kid. Our grandfather made. It's like a 1-of-1 game called box hockey. So we're currently working on making that a thing.
We'll have to get you guys a set of box hockey when we played it on live. We did a live stream a couple times, and
made a couple videos.
People were going nuts for it, so we were like, let's try to get this thing off the ground. We'll get you guys a set once we.
What is that game
in the
look
office
like?
Once we
box hockey. I don't know if I've played box hockey, or what would that be like?
Yeah, it's like this one version that we have was, like Mike said, was like our grandfather's original creation. I mean, there's others that are similar to it, but basically just a wooden box that you got a wooden stick and a wooden puck, and you got to like slide it through the gates into the
I played that.
Goal at the other end, and it's it's cool. It's
like a suitcase almost.
Yeah, little like portable suitcase, and so
Have you guys played
We'll
that?
we'll be on the lookout. We'll be promoting it a little more on our channels coming soon. So
That would be awesome. Yeah, we'd love to help out with that launch. That's,
could have
that's
one.
right up our alley.
Play some in the office
Absolutely,
here,
I
just
know.
battle each other.
That'd be great.
That'd be a great game
Oh,
for
it's so
us.
fun. It's intense.
yeah,
It gets intense.
Yeah. Well, I love how you guys have that kind of 3-year vision, and you don't plan on stopping anytime soon. You kind of remind me of like a younger Cody Ko, and I love Cody Ko a ton, where you just have so many avenues where you could go because, like you said, you've been brand friendly, but you're walking the line on the good side, and you have these visions, and you're just full in. And I think that people like that with that sort of outlook just open the door literally to anything, and you could go whatever you find that you're better at come 3-5 years down the road. Like, you just attack it, and you're out there. I'm sure you're meeting a million amazing people with a ton of different opportunities, so that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm cool to see what LA
Appreciate that.
LA will bring for you guys. I'm sure there'll be some fun opportunities down there. We've only been once, and it was cool, but we didn't get a chance to really like meet anybody.
Yeah, I mean, let us know next time. Like you guys are out. Would love to like hang out and just chill and chop it up and go out, whatever. But no, it's been nice. Being in LA, we've been going to like a bunch of events, which is nice. You know, getting sent to like a movie premiere or these other parties or this or that, and it's nice to like network and meet a bunch of people, which I guess is big instead of like being back home, like flying out for all this. It's nice to just be here. Wait, what about you guys? Where are you guys based out of?
So we're in Minneapolis. Like you said about the whole the travel thing, we're actually flying down to Fort Lauderdale tonight for the Stanley Cup Finals. Those games tomorrow.
nice.
So we're kind of in the same boat with that travel thing. Like, we're just all over. We were literally there 2 weeks ago to the date for the Eastern Conference Finals, and they're like, "You got to come back since we won."
Yep.
So we're just all over
Let's
the place,
go.
and
That's so awesome.
yeah, it's been nice. I mean, Minnesota's been good for us just because I'm actually from here, and then these guys are all kind of Midwestern or Canadians, so it's not too far from our families, and obviously with hockey content, it really makes sense to be here. So
Yeah, that's unreal. Who do you guys have winning it all?
I think we're all on the Panthers bandwagon, but now that they're down 2-0, it's like, God.
It's hard. I want to be on the Panthers bandwagon, but it's tough for us Bruins fans here, dude. Like, it's like the biggest choke of the century, dude.
I just can't root for him, man.
Our,
I don't know.
my best friend who lives with us, he played hockey growing up, diehard hockey fan, and like, dude, it was like obviously like I'm like we're fans, but like he was like when it happened, like I was like I didn't talk to him for a couple hours, and like he just went to his room and like.
Bro is down bad. For
It's like, have the greatest season in history of the
Yeah.
NHL and then lose first round to an 8 seed. I'm just like,
That was a
Insane.
heartbreak.
but I know,
It was a heartbreak.
but I kind of do want to see an upset. I was like it would be cool to see the Panthers win, but it was a heartbreak.
Yeah.
I think either way, whatever city wins, whether it's Fort Lauderdale or Vegas, I think that Stanley Cup parade is going to be something else. One for the books for sure.
Oh, it's gonna be. Oh, that's so true. I
Guaranteed.
didn't even think of that. That is gonna be that parade's gonna be insane.
That would be awesome. Well, yeah, you got anything else?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask too. Like, I feel like you guys, I don't know if you've gotten reached out by. Have you gotten reached out by the NHL to do anything ever? Like, you worked with the Vikings and stuff. Has there been any teams that have tried to get you out?
I feel like we've had like I don't know if like directly the NHL, but we've had specific teams, especially like the mascots, like doing the sports celebrations. Like we've been in talks, like the Chicago Blackhawks mascot, New Jersey Devils, and like there's a couple other ones I forget, but not in direct talks with the NHL. I don't think, but
Yeah,
definitely something down the road that would be
I know.
cool.
good to see
Absolutely.
you guys
Yeah,
doing
we gotta
well.
we gotta get
doing
a little
something
more
good with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be. I think that'd be great. I think what's his name, Matt Barzal, follows us on Instagram, so I think we need to make something happen. with
Oh,
that.
there you
Slide
go.
his DMs.
Yeah. So maybe we got to make something happen with him.
Definitely. No, well, we really appreciate your
But
time and everything today. Yeah, great getting to know you guys. Hopefully that one day we'll swing into LA and we can do some fun content together, and that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring you some
Absolutely.
skates.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for having us.
Yeah, we'll teach you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's been a blast. I think
Yeah. Appreciate it. This was fun.
I think you guys and our friend group could definitely get along and have a good time together. Seems like we're
I
pretty
think we'd have a
similar.
blast.
So.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. We'll have to, dude. We'll have to make something happen. Or next, one of my best friends lives in Minneapolis, so if I'm up there, we're up
There you
there.
go.
Dude,
Yeah.
we'll hit you guys up.
We are
So,
15 minutes
I've been
from the
meaning to visit
airport,
him
so perfect.
for a minute, money.
Perfect.
Awesome.
That's
Well,
unreal.
thanks, guys. Really
Yeah, dude,
appreciate it.
you guys having us. This was a blast.
Bros.
Hank and Mike.
I said before this that we would have a great conversation with them because I could tell from their content that they're kind of just, they felt like us in a way.
Mhm.
And I think they were.
Yeah, I think, like I said there at the end with them, that we could definitely get together very easily and hang out and make some really funny stuff, or
Yeah.
just
Oh, yeah.
literally be friends and whatever.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like not even have to make anything with them. I would look forward to getting to hang out with them casually, doing whatever. If they're coming to Minneapolis, like that'd be a ton of fun because they're cool guys.
Oh yeah. Now it's got to be us, Pointer Bros, and Isaac. Now that would be a crew that you don't want to mess with there.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun. And I like how they definitely have similar interests and everything, and have gone basically down the exact same road. I find it funny how basically everyone we've talked to who is full-time content creation had their little time of grinding where they're like figuring out exactly what they want to do while they're working another job or something like that. And I think that's just so important. And it goes to show that most people out there who are doing well on social media, they don't just pick up a phone, post a video, and all of a sudden they're successful. There's so many little things behind the scenes that no one knows about.
It's, you said it best. Like obviously people that see the finished product, but there's so much stuff behind the scenes that goes unnoticed, and it's like years of work that leads up to the point like where we're at, where they're at, and it was just like a very parallel path that we both shared.
Start to finish, I was surprised how similar of the path that they went on. Even to like doing content plus work, to even having the motivation to stop that because of the comments and the community that they had, like their feedback that they were getting. That part surprised me, with them saying that that's why they felt like it was a good decision, was just because of the comments back they got, not because of like money or certain brand deals, but because they just saw a future with, if they could keep making that content, they could probably help or entertain like lots of people out there. And I thought that was cool. Plus, even at the end, like they're doing the merch, they're trying to figure that out. They're creating content for now, doing the podcast, YouTube, like exactly things that we are doing to continue growing and growing and growing.
Yeah, they're taking that step forward instead of staying where they're at with just like posting content, which is cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to do something real cool, and definitely see them taking off. And they just remind me of so many people that have just worked their way up through whatever it was. And the fact that I think the biggest thing that I really appreciate them and respect that they do is continue to be so brand friendly, family friendly, but they're also hilarious. And it's not just like boring kids content, but everyone can relate to it, and it's funny.
That's what makes them unique.
It's not easy to do that game or that ballpark that they're in.
Right. Because some people, they're famous because they're making terrible jokes or swearing or things like that, and these guys are just like, I don't know, they just got it dialed in.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things of that and the comedy side too is that there's not many comedians, obviously, that you're never going to go to a comedy show and be too like with your kids probably. So it's cool that, I don't know, I know they didn't talk about wanting to go down that path really, but kind of a cool angle with their TikTok, how it's community friendly, and then maybe they can do more of that for kids that no one's really doing.
I think that kind of like, now that you said that comes to my head, but not necessarily like a stand-up comedy aspect, but like Impractical Jokers in a sense, like something along those lines, like where it's kid-friendly comedy that like you could obviously show like any age and it's just like older people think it's funny, we think it's funny, younger people think it's funny.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe like, yeah, kind of like a mix of going to sports games and being like kind of like not like a prankster thing, but I don't know, running on the field to do some kind of
Yeah,
some
Like a
kind of like
skit.
funny thing, but making it planned. I don't know, just spitballing.
yeah.
Well, that was an amazing interview, and really appreciate Henry and Michael coming on. I think that everyone's gonna really like that, and getting to know them a little bit more behind the scenes. So we thank them a ton, and we thank you all for listening. But I'm actually gonna drop a new little challenge in a weekly game that
Okay.
I'd like to play on this show that I didn't tell any
Sweet.
of you
Speaking of
about.
game,
And I thought about it this morning as I was running. And I was like, we're going to try this out today, and we're going to do the first one without the guests. But moving forward, I think we add the guests into this
Sweet.
little game.
okay, can I say I just had a big regret as you told that.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot to ask the Pointer Brothers the podcast handshakes.
Oh, that's right.
I was going to ask them what handshakes podcast hosts could do together, and they're going to show us, but I totally
you
forgot.
told us all that, too.
I was so excited before this episode to do that.
Maybe
Maybe
we'll
I'll-
have to have them send a little video, one video in.
Yeah, I might still. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, anyways, I was just thinking that, we talk a lot about other people on this show, and we don't talk too much about ourselves or the little things that maybe when we're not together. So I thought of a little segment, and we're going to talk about one win and one loss from the last week in our lives. And it can be anything at all. It can be funny, it can be serious. And I will start it off just to give you a little example.
Okay, sweet.
But my win of the week was my Chipotle bowl on Monday, because it was, I think, the best Chipotle bowl I've ever had at Chipotle in my lifetime. And it hit all the right spots. It fueled me for the rest of the day, and it was incredible. You don't get that too often.
No, that's true.
Sometimes they're all just the same, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it definitely hit. But my L, this has never happened to me before in my life. I went to get gas on Monday as well, Monday evening after work. And I get to a Holiday gas station, and all the pumps are taken. And not only are they taken, there are lines of cars waiting for the pumps. It took me
Oh.
15 minutes to get to the pump, and I had 10 miles left in my tank, so I couldn't go home.
That sucks.
That was
big
my
L.
L. That was
Big
my
L.
big L of the week.
I've actually done that a lot before. I've tried to go fill up at Costco, and
Yeah.
pumps have been locked.
Costco's bad. It's either long lines or long.
Yeah.
Do you guys fill your tank all the way up, or do you do half tanks?
Hardly
I
ever fill
always
it
go
up.
full.
I'm lost. I noticed you did that when we were driving home together. You put like $25 in. I'm that same way. Like I just never sit there and let it fill all the way up. I always go, oh, that's good.
The only time I do that is before I'm traveling home.
Yeah.
But I have this weird thing that I hate, like filling it up.
I don't. It's not a weird thing for me. I just like.
I hate the wait, and I hate obviously that you have to spend more money. But
Well, you guys have trucks too. Mine's only like 12, 13
Yeah.
gallons, so it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
All
You wanna
right.
go, Lawson?
win an L. I'm trying to even think what I all did this past week.
I got mine in my head. If you want me to go.
Yeah,
first.
you go first.
I'll start with the W, the win of the week. The win of the week for me is I've worked out both mornings. Usually I wait till after work to work out, which I don't mind doing that also. But the last 2 days I've done my workout in the morning, which it feels a lot better, I think, through just like getting your day going. So that's a big L, or sorry, big
W.
L.
W.
Oh, W.
I said L then M, but yeah, it's a big W for me is doing workouts in the morning. And the L for me is I started taking this magnesium supplement pill, and it has just shredded my stomach
Mm.
bad.
Didn't know that was a side
That's
effect.
the L. Yeah, it had to be it because that's the only thing that I've changed is
Mhm.
taking this like magnesium vitamin. And both mornings I've taken it, it's given me just absolute tummy ache.
So you're gonna keep taking it?
Yeah.
Try to work through it?
Well, yeah, I looked it up and it did say it was a side effect and that your body just adapts to it over time. But
Yeah.
definitely an L because
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
very uncomfortable
That's
for
an
a
L.
few hours.
Mhm. I would say my win would have to be I have kind of 2 wins, 2 half wins. Already making changes to the game. First half win is that I cleaned the gunk out of my cup holders in my truck that's probably been sitting there for 5 months.
That's
so
a win.
my truck console area is looking a lot crispier now.
Why did you do that?
Had the time, and I had wet ones in my back seat, and I was waiting.
Wet wipes.
Yeah, so I was just like, all right, just gonna clean the gunk out of my cup holders now.
Good call.
Otherwise, I would never have done it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I was waiting, so I was like, might as well use the time for that. So it feels good driving my truck again. And the other one was that just had another good talk with a video editor. His name's John, and looking like we'll just be getting some more help on YouTube. So I think that's a great win that we're just getting some more hands on the deck here.
John.
I think something
John.
funny that we could do to this little intro of this game is all I do is win, win, win. Just have that as a lead intro to it.
If you want to add the work on your hands,
But
that would
there's-
probably be your job to throw that in the episode.
Great idea.
So
What
go
about
for
an
it.
L? Did you have any L's in the last week?
Yeah,
Everyone's got to have an
I
L.
think like
Big L.
I don't know. I think maybe the L is that I'll have FOMO not going to the Stanley Cup final. So I haven't felt that in a long, long time.
You're
Like,
feeling it right now?
Yeah, definitely. Like I'll actually feel like I'm missing out not being there. So that's probably maybe it's the L that I feel that way when I really shouldn't be. Like I should just not care.
Yeah. We'll tell Tyler Cameron that you
But
wish you were there with him.
yeah, but I do wish I was there, and that's okay. And I'm happy with what I'm going to be doing too.
Mm-hmm.
But I just got to enjoy what I'm doing and
Yeah.
not think about what you guys are doing.
That is
Yeah.
low-key hard to do
Mm-hmm.
when you want to do something, but you're obviously doing something else.
Yeah.
Sometimes life gets in the way, and it's not like you're going to a bad thing either.
No,
you're
and
gonna be
that's
golfing.
and
so.
that's the thing. Like without this NHL thing come up, I would have been very happy and excited. So this other opportunity that I could have done should not change that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, thanks for playing, boys.
It's a good segment. I liked it.
Thanks for playing. I think hopefully we continue.
Who won?
There's no winner.
Oh.
There's only winners and losers, because that is the win and loss of the week, because we're never too high or never too low here at THG.
I like it.
Thanks for playing, boys, and we'll see you next week. But everyone else, thanks for tuning in. It's a great episode with the Pointer Brothers. Very excited to recap next week our trip to the Stanley Cup Finals for you.
That's gonna be a good episode.
It's going to be a blast. I cannot wait. I keep looking at my watch because I just want to go to the airport. But
It does feel weird that that's what we still have to do today.
yeah,
We
we
still
still
gotta
got to
fly.
fly. 3-hour flight to Florida. Lose an hour. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
But thanks everyone. Thanks everybody for coming. Really appreciate it. And as always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And if you enjoyed this episode, please, 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 please share it out with someone new. And as always, we appreciate you. Leave your feedback. And if we did good or bad, and on YouTube, maybe leave your win or loss in the bottom in the comments here too. Of
Let's
the
end
week.
it off
great.
with their best Pointer Brothers point. Ready?
That was awesome.
All right.
Cuddy, get us the heck out of here.